Hey everyone, we just got done seeing Dragon Blade, a new Chinese film. Austin, go ahead and try to give us a 3, maybe 2 sentence premise.
First century AD, Chinese, Silk Road, Romans come invade. John Cusack.
Led by John Cusack.
John
Cusack and Adrian Brody are Roman leaders. And they're invading China.
Led by Jackie Chan.
Led by Jackie Chan. This movie is, needless to say, ridiculously inaccurate, but kind of awesome in its own way.
It's fun.
It's very dumb fun. If you are a historian, you might blow your brains out halfway through.
See, I'm a historian, but I was still able to get over it though because it was fun.
It was and
it's not taking itself too serious. I mean, it does call itself historical, like it says based off a true story or whatever. But BS. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, a lot of horror films say that too. My summary of it would be that the first half of the movie, or at least the first maybe act, is it's overwhelmingly weird. Because of its extreme historical inaccuracies. Extreme. And it's campy. And as far as the actual story goes, despite all of that, the actual story is very cliche. This is a plot structure that we've seen in many other films. But with that said, I think if you stick with it, despite how weird it is in the first act, it does grow on you. And it becomes a very dumb, fun spectacle with very creative action sets, which were choreographed by Jackie Chan himself, and you can tell the action scenes are really fun. So that alone, I think, makes it worth watching. The acting is pretty good for the most part. Jackie Chan was really good in the lead. John Cusack, as odd of a choice it is for him to play a Roman leader, I thought he did a very good job. Adrian Brody, who is the villain. He camped it up so much.
He was amazing.
And he was spectacular. And he really didn't even have that much screen time.
How long was the movie?
I don't know. It didn't feel that long.
No, at some points it felt a little long, like it was kind of dragging on, but then at other points it felt like it was moving at a
I will
pace.
say, I think the pacing overall is fine, but there is some... One criticism I have to bring up. This movie had some sloppy editing.
2 hours and 10 minutes.
2 hours and 10 minutes. This movie had straight to DVD levels of awkward fade-ins and transitions. It would cut back to footage that we've already seen multiple times for reference. It was very amateur editing. But it was a big budget film too.
That's not the first time I've seen that in a Chinese movie.
Well, I've seen an American movie too.
Yeah,
it's still a legitimate.
I've seen it quite a few times in Chinese.
I still think
it's a legitimate issue with a big budget movie.
Yeah, when your budget is $64 million, that's pretty sloppy. And also I have to say, for a big budget film, I think a lot of that money you can see in a positive way, but in other ways not so much. In a positive way, the costume design was very excessive, but it was kind of cool. So the costume design, the weapons were really cool and creative.
Sets are cool.
Yeah, the sets were cool. But I have to say, this movie is very excessively CGI'd, and the CGI was
really noticeable.
It was very noticeable, and it was very hit or miss.
That's also very Chinese film. When we watched that live action Milan movie, there were some parts in that where it's like, why?
I mean, the CGI wasn't always bad, but when it was bad, it was bad.
Like the birds, those birds were so bad.
Like the distant shots of cities, of statues, birds attacking people, which was weird.
Yeah.
Again, it goes along with the campiness, but the movie, criticisms aside, it's still an enjoyable film. I think it doesn't let down. It doesn't slow down, I think, for the most part.
I also feel, though, if you want to check out this movie, you kind of have to know Chinese films to get into this.
Or foreign films.
Foreign films.
It is not an American-style movie in any way.
No.
I think you also really need to know what you're just getting into. Mm-hmm. We all knew the ridiculous setup for this film about Romans invading China. Like we knew about that going in. I think if we just heard about this new movie with Jackie Chan called Dragon Blade, we're like, oh, cool, it's some Chinese kung fu, whatever, like classic Jackie Chan. And then what? Like, what?
Well, it wouldn't be too far off because you could feel Jackie Chan's hand in every part of this movie.
Well, again, the credits say he was the action director, and you can tell, like, it has his choreography.
You wouldn't feel too out of place.
But the plot and everything, and just ridiculous. But
crime.
Adrian Brody's delivery was so incredible. For almost all the film, he's whispering, but then when he does scream, it's so
amazing,
just unbelievable,
spectacular.
It's the over the top villain performance that a crappy movie like that new Transport movie really needed,
but didn't
have. Yeah. So I mean, okay, what would you recommend to Austin?
I would recommend if you're into Chinese films.
Yes.
And you like cool set designs and cool costumes and stuff like that.
You want to have fun with.
I would recommend this. I had a lot of fun with it.
Would you recommend it, Sebastian?
If you know what you're getting into, I would definitely recommend it. It was fun.
I completely agree. If as long as you know what kind of, again, it's spectacle. This movie is a spectacle. It's like a what if. Like, what if Rome? It's not, even though it says it's trying to be quote unquote accurate to history. If you just look at this as almost like a Deadliest Warrior, like, what if Rome attacked China? Like this kind of, it never happened, but imagine. And you look at it from that point of view and just throw history out of the window and just have fun, I think you will have fun with it. So, yeah, it's a thumbs up from all of us. So, that's our review of Dragon Blade. I cannot talk.
Adrian Brody.
Matt Damon.
Brody.
Thanks for listening.